All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another season of NASCAR. This is crazy. We are so back. The duels are about to kick off. Drivers are getting in their cars, so we probably will go green within the next 10 minutes. Got to get in a few pace laps. Probably have to get their pit road speed. So it'll be a little bit. But we have two races tonight, two duels. We will be showing highlights and replays as they happen, or as soon as we get the replays available. And we will have our live leaderboard going. So on the live leaderboard, you can see their position, their car number, what lap they're on, last lap time, how far behind the leader they are, and then the status. It'll be, running, off, out, all that stuff. So still working on the leaderboard. I'm trying to get car numbers programmed in so I can have that the car numbers pull up instead of having the text. The issue with that is if I just do it for Cup, then those numbers will also pop up for O'Reilly, for trucks, for ARCA. So I'm not sure if that juice is worth the squeeze. Tommy, he said here for Cletus. Well, I don't believe Cletus is in this race, but I'm sure Cletus is, there and paying attention. He's going to have his chance tomorrow. They had truck practice today, I think around 3 or 4 p.m. And then tomorrow we have truck qualifying and then the race tomorrow night. So that'll be really fun. And then I think Cletus will be racing in Saturday's ARCA race. So we'll see Cletus in 2 races this weekend. Pretty nice. Are you serious? I'm excited. All right, we just got the command. Let's get this going. So, you guys in the chat, who do you guys think is going to win? Double A says he's here from Matt Kenseth. You genius. Sketch said he skipped the school dance on Friday to watch Tony race at Daytona. Worth it. Because you never know when the last time will be the last time, No, yeah. I had a stream last night. I played a game called Somnolence. Somnolence. That was it. It sucked. It was like mostly made by AI. You could tell. It was very obvious. And it was just gross at some parts. And it was really glitchy in other parts. I was just really angry. And I considered making the stream members only because I was like, I don't want that on my channel anymore. But, I left it up and I just got a notification that they copyright claimed it because of background music in the game. So I'll have to edit that out later. Bubba or Blaney in Duel 1? And then what about Duel 2? So if you guys have predictions for the Duel 1 and Duel 2 winner, go ahead and type them in chat. Love to see it. I usually stay away from making predictions about the super speedways because it's such a lottery race. Yeah, Somnolence, it sucked. I hated it. It looked promising going in and it just got repetitive. It drug on and just the AI generated stuff. It was just kind of uncanny. I don't know. And it was too conceptual. They were trying to be like, some genius level writing. It's like, you're not that. Like, just chill out. Chill out with the crazy. I'm trying to see how far I can move I gesture a lot. And my gestures get cut off by my green screen a lot. So, anyway. Let's take a look at who's in Duel 1. We have Kyle Busch starting P1. He'll probably drop to the back as soon as the race begins. Although he could go for the win. Hard to hold the lead for 60 laps, but he could go for the win. and that would give him 10 bonus points going into the season. I think he's going to want to start up front Sunday, so look for him to drop to the back. Ryan Preece, second. Third, Corey Heim. I think he's in on speed. And then Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, Corey LaJoie. He's one of the favorites to get a transfer position here. Jimmy Johnson further down, 15th. He's locked in, so he doesn't have to worry. And then Chandler Smith and Casey Mears. This is the transfer position. So right now, 21st is the transfer position. So as long as Casey can finish ahead of Chandler Smith, or vice versa, they will make the Daytona 500. So we're going to have, I think, 4 guys sent home. There's going to be 41 cars in the field Sunday. Jimmy's already locked in with a provisional. Corey Heim locked in on speed. So it's Corey LaJoie, unless he, falls off, like goes way back. He is currently in. But yeah, it's going to be the highest 2 open car drivers in each race. Good to see you, Doodlebug. Pugzilla. A lot of big names in the chat. Good to see you guys. I can't wait till we get this underway. Yeah, I don't know if he'll park it. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. That would make sense, but I could definitely see him running like 3 seconds off the pace, in the very back of the pack. Just just hanging around. I'm not sure what our fuel window is. Jason Switzer, good to see you. Good to see you. It was nice seeing you in the Clash live stream. So as you can see here, I've added this images on function. I just don't have the images loaded in yet, so I don't know if we're gonna do the car number images yet, but I'm working towards that. I want to make this look as presentable as I can. And then let me know how you guys feel about the top 5 all being in gray, if you guys care. I understand why it's there, and like it serves a purpose of like, okay, this is the top 5. Like these are the competitors, the guys going for the win. But it does break up the nice pattern we have between them. Anyway, I've been working on this since last year, so eventually we'll get it to a place we're happy. They are rolling. Cars on the track. They're interviewing Kyle Busch currently. Skitch says Ty Gibbs will win Duel 1 or 2. I think he's in Duel 2. That's probably not a bad pick. Have I tried the new Cheez-It pizza yet? I've heard about it, but I haven't tried it. I've heard about it. Even if I have no plans to buy a product, I'll still watch somebody eat it and review it. Just to see, like, what do these people think about it? All right, let's see if they got their logos right this time. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but last night in qualifying, they had the manufacturers wrong for almost every driver. They had Alex Bowman in a Toyota. They had Denny in a Chevy. They had Ryan Preece, I think, also in a Chevy. It was way off. Double A, imagine Kyle Busch and Briscoe will just take it to the garage. I could totally see that. Dude, I would not be surprised to see Corey Heim do well here, but he's used to racing in the truck package, not as much in this cup package. So it's a completely different style of super speedway racing. Yeah, man, bald Logano is going to take some getting used to. Hey, I get you there, man. Eating's great. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Like, maybe they have it in a spreadsheet and something got, you know, mixed up to where manufacturer shifted one row up, something like that. Or maybe they coded it off of AI. They vibe coded it and it just ran like garbage. All right, Brad Keselowski. Hopefully he doesn't get into a big one here. We don't want to see him break his leg. So in the Clash, I was way ahead of a lot of people because I was watching on antenna. Right now, I'm watching off of the Fox website, the Fox Sports website. So I may be behind some of you guys. And then include the stream delay on top of that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the ghost car. Brian Blaney, what a mustache. What a beautiful man. Jimmy Johnson here in row 8. Locked in. AJ running the 16. Greg Biffle 16. Very nice. Daniel Suarez in the 7. That's going to take some getting used to. Noah Gragson. What are the odds Noah Gragson wrecks? What are the odds? It's not the Chicago street course, so he might not. Already up over 1,000 views for the stream. Not bad. Not bad, ladies and gentlemen. For a qualifying race. All 4 RFK cars in Duel 1. Oh my goodness. They're showing Ryan Preece's flips. Cinema. Corey LaJoy going up and over. The teams don't have a lot of control over the car, like the body itself, since they're not the ones building it. Back in the day, they would make a package that was draggy and it would slow the cars down to 180 or whatever, you know, on their own. And then in a pack, they would get up to 192. Then the next year they come back, they'd be at 196. They'd come back in the fall and they would be at 200 again. They would have to slow the cars down. This next-gen car is so draggy, and the teams don't have enough flexibility on the rules to modify it. I mean, these things are extremely slow. That's good. It's better for me to be behind than ahead. That way I'm not spoiling the race for people. But I could pull up I could pull up the DirecTV page and see if it's a little further ahead. It's a good idea. The lights are out. We're about to go green. Good to see you, Kyle Busch Doggy. Good to see you. The race isn't sponsored by Wendy's. You're genius. Double A. Pretty much everything you say, I agree with. Almost everything. I see where you're coming from every time. Please restart the app and sign in again. Not let me sign out. All right, we're green, by the way. There we go. I'm able to sign out now. Someone's beating on something outside, and it's ticking my dog off. Also ticking me off. If you hear a bark, that's not on us. Kyle Busch still out front right now. They need to have a permanent ticker showing who's in the transfer spot. It doesn't have to be a big graphic, just a tiny one in the corner of the screen that just shows you who would make it in right now. Oh, the DirecTV page might be faster than the Fox Sports page. That's crazy. Is that right? Or is it even further behind? Lap 2? No, I think it's even further behind. Okay, well, that's not an option. So we'll just be a little behind. That's fine. Which duel is Cyborg Zillichin? Let's look at our leaderboard here. I think he's in Duel 2. I don't remember seeing his name here. Yeah, Duel 2. Raisin Cane's Speed Weeks at Daytona presented by Sprite. Raisin Cane's is all right. I've had it at several different restaurants. Usually, if I see a Raisin Cane's, I'm going to stop by because each time I give it another chance to impress me, and it never does. It's good, but it's not like, oh, this is the best chicken I've ever had. Super bland. The only good thing there, the sauce and the bread. The fries were not great, were not seasoned. And the chicken itself was pretty bland. And that's been the story. And sometimes it's even soggy, so. I know there's a lot of caniacs out there. I'm not saying your food's bad. I'm just saying it's overrated. So right now, Ryan Preece out front. Kyle Busch still up there. So it looks like maybe he's wanting to see what his car will do in the draft. It'll be interesting to see if he pulls out here in a few laps. You know, maybe if it... Yeah, he's testing out pushing right now. All over the back of Preece. Now, they weren't able to make up much ground. That's kind of crazy. His teammate, Austin Dillon, moving into second place on that inside line behind Corey Heim. That 3 car looks sharp this year. It looks really good. Looks a lot like Harvick's 29. Gonna try Cookout. I've had a similar experience there. It's not bad. They have so many menu items. The cookouts that I've been to, the ones in North Carolina and South Carolina are much better than the one we have where I live. It's not very well run. But dude, there's like unlimited milkshake and ice cream flavors. I mean, it's so many different options. You can get a corn dog, a grilled chicken sandwich, a hamburger, fries, a street taco, a bunch of stuff. So John Hunter Nemechek in the lead currently. They have a Toyota out front. Behind him, we have a Ford. So one thing that I noticed in qualifying, the manufacturers don't seem to be unbalanced this year. A lot of times you'll see just Chevys at the top of the leaderboard, or you'll see just Fords. This time it's very even. Don't call me. Someone just tried to call me. What a loser. There's no one that needs to talk to me at 6 p.m. That's not a spam caller. It's good to see the 99 back out on track for Roush. Oh my goodness. Mike Joy's getting caught up on his words. He's just like me. That's Cole Custer. That's my boy. So if any of you guys saw my 100% Daytona race, you guys will know Cole Custer's my boy. But he's in a Chevy this year. Remember that. No longer aligned with the Fords. They have a technical alliance with Hendrick Motorsports. So, I mean, it wouldn't be horribly surprising to see Cole Custer get a win this year. Depending on how much support Stewart Haas is... Well, not Stewart Haas. Just Haas is getting. Yeah. Drop the Stewart. That was a couple years ago. No. Let me go to the NASCAR's Twitter page. Now, a lot of times we'll have a duel that's really calm, and then we'll have a duel that's really racy. You know, usually the two are very different. So which one is this going to be? Is this going to be a racy duel? Or a relaxed, let's ride around and get in the 500? Man, it's so hard to pick a winner, like predict a winner at a super speedway. You can literally pick anyone and have a shot to have your, pick be right. But unlike football or basketball, when you're just picking one team or the other, you have, in this race, 23 cars to choose from. In Sunday's race, there'll be 41 to choose from. All right, Austin Dillon has that 3-car up front. Almost 25 years now since the 2001 Daytona 500. I have to think they went with the Kevin Harvick scheme to just avoid Earnhardt comparisons this year. Probably for the better, too. Looking through the field, I mean, it's Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, Corey LaJoie, John Hunter Nemechek in the middle, and then Brad Keselowski. Behind Brad is Ryan Blaney. Those two know how to work together. And one spot behind Blaney, if you skip a spot, Joey Logano, another Ford. So the Fords are migrating towards the front very well. There's a Chevy in the lead, though, and a Toyota in 5th. And then our next Chevy. Oh, Austin Dillon has fallen back. He lost the lead. Wins ARCA. It is Saturday. Saturday. It might be as early as like 11:30. Like it's really early. Are there no points? They're not giving out points today. Disappointing. So normally this is when I would remind you guys to check into your NASCAR fan rewards and get your points, but it doesn't look like they're giving... Oh, they are giving out points. All right, yeah, if you're a member of NASCAR fan rewards, it's a free program to join. Go ahead and check in. You'll get 50 points. And if you get enough points, you can redeem them for autographed merchandise, sweepstakes, other random merchandise, some NASCAR-themed merchandise, experiences. Sometimes they'll have, like, hot passes. Sometimes they'll have where you can ride around in the pace car before the race, or where you can wave the green flag at a practice or something. So, plenty of things to do. You can also get race tickets. Race tickets for free. All you have to do is go to NASCAR.com or download the NASCAR mobile app and create an account, and you just check in here. $11:30 a.m. Yeah. With time zones, it's hard to, exactly tell people when a certain event is. Usually, I just tell whatever the Eastern time zone is, because the majority of people live in the Eastern time zone. Probably the majority of our audience, though, is maybe Central. Brats, baked beans, shells, and cheese. That sounds good. You're having a full meal. A full meal. Yeah, LaJoie is looking really good right now. There's still plenty of this race to go, so they could get shuffled out. A caution could, pack things back up. But I don't think they're going to let LaJoie have the win. If if Chandler Smith and Casey Mears stay further back, you know, not in fighting distance of LaJoy, I think they'll just handle it between themselves. Now, it would be interesting to me if that outside line gets going, if maybe LaJoy and Keselowski could pull up to the high side. Stop calling me, people. If LaJoy and Keselowski could go to the high side and control 2 lanes. Because Daytona, they can go 4 wide, but usually the most they'll go, you know, in average race conditions will be 3 wide. So, I mean, they could control 2 out of 3 lanes. It'd be funny if Casey Mears wins. That'd be crazy. I don't know if he has the horses to get it done, though. In the draft, he's fine, and like he could technically time it correctly, but I mean, he's not even keeping up with who's in front of him. Yeah, Chandler Smith. That's who I thought. Yeah. Nice seeing that 16 car back out there in the Roush font. And it's really cool that they were allowed to do that. So good cooperation between Roush and Colleague. So right now that transfer spot is up for grabs. Chandler Smith is right in front of Casey Mears. So it's between those two. Man, yeah, Mears' car just is not handling well. It may not be as aerodynamic as the other cars. Because especially in these more spec type cars, and at a plate track, that's where the separation is made a lot of times, is with the aero. AJ's not cooking. Yeah, Colleague's been down as a whole the last couple of years. When AJ Allmendinger can't even compete at a road course, you know their program is in the trash. Yeah, it was a very busy offseason in terms of good news and bad news. Probably one of the crazier off seasons we've ever seen. I'm just glad it's over finally. Not that that'll stop things from happening, but you know, it's good to have our mind on something else. Oh, remember, they're just riding around right now. There's no urgency. It is kind of crazy Kyle Busch is still leading the outside groove. Like, he's really trying to get a bunch of data for the 500. A lot of times you would have seen the pole sitter either pull off or pull out already. Can't breathe. Man, it's great to see these cars under the lights. Good stuff. All right, we're under commercial, so we have a little break in the action here. Ah, here's Chicago. 25 or 6-4. I like this Amazon commercial. And they used I think the 2018 Steven Wilson remix. I think it was 2018. That's the best remix. All right, I just got an email. From who? I don't know. We'll never know. There's no way we can find out. John Cena commercial. He does the voiceovers for the Honda commercials. Honda needs to come over to NASCAR. John Cena can drive one of the cars. I'm sure he wouldn't have any issue. Your team made the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. That's nice. That is nice. For you. For fans of the other 31 teams, I'm sure they hate you right now. The Colts started out the year like 7-1 or something, and then just collapsed. It looked like it was our year, and then injuries. The team just fell apart. Absolutely collapsed. They're still under green here. We're a third of the way through the race. Waiting on Fox Sports to resume coverage. Looks like we're about to go back to coverage. You want Lexus to be in NASCAR? That's not going to happen. Unless Toyota leaves. I don't think Toyota is going to compete with their own brand. You know, General Motors downsized to just one brand in NASCAR. So I don't think we'll ever see Lexus join alongside Toyota. Doesn't make sense to split up their teams when they already only have a few Toyota teams compared to the dozens of Chevys. Dodge might, you know, that's a rumor. A lot of people thought they were going to announce that today, but it was just a go-kart with a cooler strapped to the front. A lot of people got faked out on that one. I saw a lot of people making predictions. It was either going to be a Dodge Gen 7 car, or it was going to be the EV. The EV made no sense to me because they've already shown the EV off. There's nothing to reveal. There's nothing there. So that one didn't make sense to me. I didn't think it was going to be the EV. It didn't even look like an EV. It did look like the front end on a Dodge, though, on the Charger. And I think that was on purpose to clickbait people into watching. Oh, no, I didn't see that. What taping of AEW is that? I'll look it up right now. Just let me know what date it was. Honda, Lexus, and a Honda. Honda, the reason a lot of people thought Honda might join is because they were considering leaving IndyCar. But now that they've re-upped with IndyCar and they've agreed to make their own engine, I don't think we're going to see them jump to NASCAR. Not for a while, at least. December 3rd or... Yeah, AEW Dynamite 12/3/2025. seeing some, like, I'll just have to watch a recording of the event because the images that are popping up are mostly promos. It's not great. Yeah, AEW is a good time. Cheap tickets. Pink jacket in front of you. I'll have to look for that. So I'm guessing you're sitting, like, you know, towards the ring. Maybe floor seats. So we still have our RFK guys out front. Corey LaJoy holding third. Chandler Smith has moved up to 9th. He is solidly in the transfer position. Casey Mears nowhere to be found. Down here in 21st. Jimmy Johnson's just riding around, trying not to crash out. Yeah, I'm glad Samoa Joe's still out there doing it. It's crazy. Kyle Busch is still up here, trying to make a move into the top 5, just outside the top 5. You know, that's interesting. You know, usually some guys, if they're going to try to stay up front, they'll just, you know, move back and forth, kind of testing their car out. How does it push? How does it handle, you know, receiving pushes? Kyle's just going for it. That's crazy. But Kyle's in a contract year. This is a big year for Kyle. He's probably gonna have a lot of pressure on his shoulders until he either signs an extension or hopefully he gets a contract somewhere else. But where? You know? Where could he go? So I think Kyle could get back to victory lane if he was with a better program. Throws back from the ring. That's good. Going to Raw next month. Very nice. It's sweet. This should be fun. It's good to go to a WWE event, you know, in the lead up to WrestleMania, and you know you're going March 2nd, so that's right in the middle of the lead up to WrestleMania. That's perfect timing. Probably right around Elimination Chamber. When's that? Yeah, February 28th. So you'll be looking at the aftermath of Elimination Chamber. Very cool. Yeah, just, I mean, a couple days after. Let's look at NASCAR's Twitter. Let's see if they posted anything interesting. Say the roar has returned. Let's go. Bang, bang. Bang. Pull that back up. Oh my goodness, it's massive. Shrink that down. Check that out. Good picture there. Kyle Busch leading them to the green flag. Just waiting to come back from commercial here. We are about halfway through. Let's see what yeah, we're a little over halfway through. Get back to the leaderboard. Yeah, it's risky. It's risky to be up there, but I mean, these guys aren't really giving crazy pushes. Maybe if they start getting more aggressive, he will dip out, but right now they're just riding around, so he's probably getting some good data, feeling out his car, what it's going to do on a tire run. Chandler Smith's moving. Up to 8. So what Chandler needs to do here is, you know, just ride around for a while, honestly. But if he sees that high side building, he needs to jump up there. Be one of the first guys to jump to the high side. Right now, he can't get clear of Blaney, though, so that's not an option yet. How did they go so wrong with the Raptor scheme? They basically stole the Exalta scheme from, what, 2 years ago? But it's not a bad scheme itself. Some people think it is. It's just the scheme they had last year, the Exalta scheme, was perfect. The 500 scheme was beautiful. At some point, the RFK cars will let LaJoie take the lead. I don't know if they'll let LaJoie take the lead. Unless Chandler Smith gets up there and threatens for the highest transfer spot. I don't think they're just gonna roll over and let him take it. Because if he's not being threatened, there's no reason for them to let him do it. And another reason why they won't let him win, he may still win, but a reason why they won't let him is points are being awarded. LaJoie's not full-time. He does not need the points. But Priest, Busher, or Brad, they may need these 10 points later in the year, so. We were talking about it before the race. I said if Kyle does go for it, the reasoning behind doing that is to get those 10 points. You know, it's a huge advantage to have 10 points in your back pocket for Sunday, because if you get caught in a big one, or in the big one, you know, you don't receive stage points, or maybe you do receive stage points. If you finish 35th, it's not going to be as bad as actually finishing 35th, you know? It'll be like you finished 25th. So that 10-point cushion is huge. I think it started this year, maybe. I think last year they might have given playoff points. Maybe not, but yeah, they're giving 10 this year, regardless of what they used to do. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give him an easy win, but if he's in the position, I think they'll, push him to the win. If they don't themselves have a run. These cars really do not get great runs, like slingshots of, from the days of old. You have to have a car pushing to actually make up ground. Makes me a little nervous to see an owner following around his cars on track. You guys know what happened 25 years ago in a very similar running order. I'm just saying, we need to watch out. All right, a lot of guys are going 3 wide. Business is picking up. They're trying to, it seems like, get lined up for pit stops, possibly. So, a mistake here, a penalty here, can end your race. There's no coming back from a speeding penalty here. Not unless you have a perfectly timed caution. Only 3 cars in that upper groove. Jimmy really just hanging back, kind of like we thought Kyle Busch would. Man, that 3 car looks good. Looks really good. This is kind of eerie. if RFK was, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, however, and Brad was the blocker Sunday, that would just be eerie. Do I know what time it comes on, the Earnhardt special? I think it comes on at 10 Eastern. I think. It's after the duels, so you can keep your television tuned to Fox Sports 1 after the race. And you'll be able to see We've Lost Dale Earnhardt, the new documentary, which, will probably go over the day and what happened leading up, possibly what would have happened if had he have lived. And I think how they'll end it off, this may be the last half of the documentary, probably be about the safety improvements they made since then. Probably talk about the COT, the safer barrier, the Hans device, closed face helmets possibly. I think that's how they're going to do it, because how it's named, I think that's to bring in the views. And it's, 25 years since, or coming up on 25 years since. So, not a bad time to drop a Dale Earnhardt documentary. And a lot of people are looking at this as a bonus episode from the Earnhardt Prime series. If you guys saw that, it was really good. Really well done. But I feel like they could have used a few more episodes. So this one kind of picks up where the Prime series left off. So that would be pretty cool. I think they may talk a little bit about his Rolex drive with Corvette. I hope they talk about his Le Mans entry, because he was going to race in the 24 Hours of Le Mans that year. GM already had a spot reserved. They had entered in the 3. And that just didn't happen. We were robbed of seeing Dale Sr. slinging around with the Europeans. All right, so we went from 3 wide back to 2 wide. So it seems like a lot of the Fords are down on that inside groove. But then we have 2 Fords. They were up top, but now they've made their way back down to the bottom groove. So it looks like the Fords could be preparing to come in. We have several Chevys up in that outside groove, along with Corey Heim, one of the Toyotas. Not a lot of Toyota help in this race. Wallace and Heim are nose to tail. First racetrack to have a safer barrier? I have no clue. That's a good piece of trivia. Jason says, pop quiz. Does anyone know the first racetrack to have the safer barrier? That's great. Double A says Darlington. It's a good choice. It also might be a track near the college where the safer barrier was developed. Maybe even a short track. All right, looks like the Chevys are going to run long. I hate that strategy. Chevy seems to do it every time. They stay out and they lose time to the leaders. Now, if you pit first, it can hurt you at some tracks, but because Daytona is so large, such a long track, that even if you pit early and a caution comes out, you're probably not going to go down a lap. Brad's hands out the window. Looks like they're coming down. I forget which university developed the safer barrier, but I have a feeling it was near that. Are you serious? Are you serious? Noah Gragson and Casey Mears both around. I asked if Casey Mears would have an issue. And he did, like clockwork. Looks like someone just slid the brakes. Mears can't get going. It's too wet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So everyone that just pit, they're good. Everyone that came down. That's the advantage of pitting early at a track like this. I don't know why the Chevys refuse to do it. But on the flip side of that, at least it wasn't a Chevy getting taken out there. Because they just lost, what, 2 Fords? Mears and Gregson. Not a ton of damage there, but I think Mears is done. They did not bring a good car for Casey Mears. So as they run, Cole Custer in first. It's a lot of the Chevys, but they're going to have to pit. But they have extra time, so if these guys didn't take tires, I don't know if the other teams are allowed to. But that would be interesting. Throw on 4 tires. Have better handling than the guys that just pitted. I don't know if that's allowed, though, so we're iffy there. Man, Chandler Smith way back there, too. He'll probably sword back to the front with Corey LaJoy. Ryan Blaney got in and out very well. So did Joey Logano. Chris Buescher looks like he might be our leader. Are you serious, Casey? Are you serious? That's such a Noah Gragson thing to happen. Not that he did it, but, you know, just being involved. That's crazy. Logano's going to be our leader. Logano beat Buescher off pit road. You know, they just showed the replay. You guys probably already saw it. Insanity. All right, let's see how these guys shake up our Chevys. Not a ton of time left, so these guys are in a really bad position, honestly. It's so hard to pass in these next-gen cars. Indianapolis. Indianapolis. Interesting. Interesting. That's a good track to get safer barriers because, you know, how sharp the corners are at Indy. And if you do, you know, if you have a brake failure or a tire failure or anything, you're going to hit the wall at an ugly angle, more than likely. Man, poor Noah Gragson. Fun fact of the evening, sponsored by Amazon. I need an Amazon sponsorship. I'll sell their Alexas. I'll do a voiceover for the Alexa. Are you kidding me? They're actually doing another Amazon commercial right now. It's the same one. Thank goodness I like this one. So if you guys have been around NASCAR for a few years, you've been watching recently, a couple years ago, and then I think a couple years before that. So for a few years, they ran this commercial. It was Coke Zero. I need to try it first. That commercial was infamous in the NASCAR community because of just how annoying it was. No one wanted to hear that. They're aligned with Hendrick. Just like the olden days. Haas is back with Hendrick. Which is partially, you know, to blame for why Cole Custer didn't pit there. If he was still with the Fords, which it would have been hilarious if he had accidentally come in with the Fords. But now that he's a Chevy, he's trying to work together with the Hendrick guys. You have 2 injured drivers in this duel, and then we have 2 in the next duel. So they are a lot better spread out than the RFK guys, but that's really how you want to do it. You want to get as many people in one duel as you can. Another Honda commercial. How does Honda, or why is Honda sponsoring Team USA? You think like Ford or General Motors or even Stellantis would sponsor Team USA before Honda. Crazy. All right. When we get restarted, it's probably going to be around 10 laps to go. So we're going to have a sprint to the end. This is kind of the length they used to run in the Clash. You know, they only had like 10 or 20 laps. It was just a sprint to the end. Just a little sneak preview of the season to come. Nice. Very nice. They just showed off the air suspension. That's so cool. That's huge. NASCAR did a great job there. I know they had already tested that last year, but it was really cool to see that in action. So there's a port on the front of the car where they can plug in that air gun and raise the ride height of the car. And it allows them to get unstuck and drive back around without damaging the car like the wreckers did. And they don't lose as much time. So it's just fantastic. A great system. Although I want to see someone use that system to their advantage in the setup. Like cheat with it. Leave a little air pressure in it. I know that there's no way that would help, but someone had to have thought of that already. Yeah, they were testing that out last year, but I don't think it was mandatory to run. So we didn't see it much last year, from what I remember. That's really cool to see that. And if Casey Mears' car has it, you have to imagine every car out here has it. Our transfer position guys are side by side. And LaJoy is not in a great position right now. I mean, he's dead even with Chandler Smith, but he's in front of 2 of his teammates. Or no, he's behind them, my bad. So he can't get a push. So if these Penske Fords can get ahead of the RFK Fords, be interesting to see if they go to the low side. Yeah, I don't see Priest. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe shuffled him out. And side by side, coming to 8 to go. The Penske guys are so good. They don't, you know, they don't win these often. You know, they'll get one every once in a while. Usually at Talladega. But Cindric has a 500, I believe. Blaney's won at Talladega a few times, I believe. And Logano's just very aggressive. Makes his way through the pack pretty well, but his pushes sometimes are a bit reckless. But they work together really well. Looks like Cindric's going to be all alone in the next duel. There may not be very many Fords in the next duel. All right, Kyle Busch just pulled out. Kyle Busch pulled off the track. You know, he's still on track, but he's no longer with the main pack. Strategy call. Very smart. Corey Heim also running towards the back of the pack with Jimmy Johnson. So all the guys that needed to run further back have now fallen to the rear. So good strategy call there. Is it weird to get Christian Flowers? Not weird. Maybe he likes the smell of flowers, or maybe it's just more about the gesture. But Brad Keselowski just shucked Chandler Smith. Almost went underneath the yellow line and squeezed Chandler Smith up and out of the draft for a second, you know, up in the outside groove. So now he's lost a couple of positions, and that directly helps out Corey LaJoie. Absolute cinema. I don't think John Hunter Nemechek's going to help here. He's just not pushing. Yeah, I mean, oh, golly. It's like he's not confident in his car to push. Watch LaJoie wreck his teammates. These guys are getting antsy. Chandler Smith does not have any help here. But, I mean, Priest can follow his teammates, but that's all he can do here. Oh my goodness. Idiots. Idiots. Absolute idiots. These people are stupid. Is that Bubba Wallace making an idiot block? Let's rewatch this. I don't know who to be mad at, but I'm ticked off. Show the replay. So Chris Buescher probably going to a backup car. Byron might go to a backup car. I don't know how much damage Austin did. Yeah, Byron's done. Gonna have to start from the rear. Whoever thought it was a good idea to put a rounded bumper on the next gen car needs to be shot. Just by a firing squad. Put it on Fox Sports 1, put it on Prime, on NBC and USA, put it on all of them. And let's punish this person for making a stupidly designed car. It wasn't really a bad block. Just a racing deal there, just a super speedway racing deal. I just hate seeing cars get torn up in the duel, you know? I would have rather have seen a clean run to the end. Yeah, Chandler Smith done. So LaJoie looks like he's going to get locked in here. Congrats to Corey LaJoie for making the Daytona 500. Unless something horrible happens. Let that car stay on the ground. All right, as soon as we can get a replay of that, we'll bring it up. That was just ridiculous. We do have a replay of the Gragson and Mears incident. Pull that up for you guys. Yeah, Bubba's the guy that gets spun. And then, You know, he gets away without really much damage. Everyone else, though, probably going to backup cars. What a waste. What a waste. It wasn't like a terrible block. It wasn't an egregious push. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could see his car start to pick up off the ground. But it finally went back down. I really want to see them do some full speed tests. They can use, like, I don't know, remote controlled cars or something. I don't know how they could, you know, maybe do a pulley system, do something. And spin one of these cars around at 200 miles an hour without the underbody and see if it still flips like, you know, the next gen car currently does. Yeah, it seems like Kyle Busch and Corey Heim and Jimmy Johnson had the right idea there to pull out and let these guys fight it out, because it was getting very aggressive towards the front. WrestleMania's trending. That's interesting. Let's go Xfinity Racing. Post from 2311 Racing. Cautions out with 4 to go. Bubba Wallace involved. No damage that they need to worry about, so they're getting back after it. Not even Bubba's fault. Great job saving it. I wouldn't call that saving it. That guy's not very bright. Nice picture from the infield of the Mears and Gregson dust up. Well, you see, that's not very true. That's not very true, Denny. So I'm not saying this is what's definitely going to happen, but what usually happens with the duels is one will be very chaotic, and the guys on the sidelines watching take note. And so the second duel is a lot quieter, a lot calmer. Or the first duel is a snooze fest, and the second one becomes a demolition derby. So we could see that. We could see a very, you know, meh duel 2. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yay on Chandler getting involved. Yeah, Chandler does have quite a few haters, I would say. I think I would rather see the 99 in the big show anyway. So probably the best that he's still out there. Yeah, I get you, Denny. So that's just part of the product. That's just part of the product of this next-gen draggy super speedway car. They can't get good runs on their own. They can't sustain a good run without a push. And so guys have to push like this. They have to push like a bunch of idiots to make up ground. It's just a part of the game now. And you can get away with that for a few laps, but at any moment, you get a little off center, a guy's making a steering input, you know, just the wrong thing happens. And half the field's torn up, you know. That's modern day super speedway racing. Spot on as always, Double A. Spot on. He said he wants to see the 99 in it, but I don't like LaJoy. I met LaJoy. He was kind enough to take a photo with me. I met him in the stands at Bristol, and he was really quick about it, like really smart. Because he knew, like, he didn't want to get recognized. He was trying to get, you know, probably back to his hotel or hauler or whatever. So he was really low-key about it. But he was, like, zooming. So it was right after the I think the truck race. And Corey LaJoy was, like, booking it towards the exit. And my dad was like, that's Corey LaJoy. So we just walk up to, hey, can we get a picture? He's like, yeah, real fast. So So we both got pictures. I had my earmuffs still on my face. We're going to OT. Just like me. Just like my 500 attempt. My first one, at least. And we won that one. That was a 100% Daytona 500. If you guys haven't seen that, it's on the channel. We ran a 100% Daytona 500 on 105 difficulty, max AI difficulty. And I mean, we were just still entirely way too fast. If we were pushing and had a car on our tail, we could gap the field. But as soon as we lost a push, it lost effectiveness most of the time. But we were really good at pushing. But we ran as RFK. I think I was Chris Buescher. And we pushed Brad for about half the race. And we pushed Ryan Priest for about half the race. So we had some good teamwork. And on the very last lap that we actually ran, I took the lead. So with 2 to go, technically, I took the lead in overtime. And then as soon as we crossed the start-finish line, white flag, Joey Logano spun, brought out the caution, and we won the race. It was awesome. You're filming your reactions. He'll probably be in chat for most of Duel 2. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like seeing that. You know, you'll see a lot of videos. There are like friend groups that get together and stream the race, like on Discord or something. And they just all react to it at the same time. It's crazy. You're like, somebody will crash and the group chat goes wild. That would be fun to do, but maybe a little too chaotic for my liking. So yeah, I mean, the guys that are locked in are doing what they need to do right now. Corey back there, even though right now he's scored ahead of Casey Mears, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch. So these guys are just taking care of their cars. And Bubba had to pull off for a pit stop. Chandler Smith did as well. And Chris Buescher and William Byron are out. So I need to fix that glitch. I was worried about that. I noticed that we didn't have anything in for 6, but I thought that... So the race dates are bound to numbers. So 1 is running. I thought 5 was out, but apparently 6 is out. So we have to fix that. But you guys, that gives you a little... You guys can't see it, actually. Move out of the way. The 6s in the bottom right. That indicates the car's off the track or out of the race. So that's a little peek under the hood of how this program runs. So we need to fix that. If you guys remember in the Clash, there was a 1 over there. So we fixed that. We have that properly running. All right, Brad out front. It would be so awesome if Brad won this. Please. Please. Oh, we're going to get a Penske winner, aren't we? Don't do it, Austin. Good, Austin Dillon. Good. Don't go up there, Austin. No. No. Please, Brad. Please. No. Are you serious? Are you... Oh, no, that's not the last lap. Here we go. Here we go. White flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Daniel Suarez is killing the inside line right now. He's no help right now. To Corey LaJoie. No help at all. Just driving like a bum. Corey LaJoie killed the inside line. What an idiot. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Casey Mears. Casey Mears might transfer in. I hate seeing Keselowski not get the win there. I don't know why that was so stupid. Daniel Suarez was pissing me off. Those sissy attempts at pushing. He wasn't really even trying to push. He had nothing to do with the wreck. It's just, that was irritating. He killed the inside line. Casey Mears, the come from behind victory. No one thought Casey Mears was going to make it in. No one did. Not one person out there predicted Casey Mears. And he did it. He's probably going to run very back of the pack the whole 500, but it's good to have him. Another veteran out there. We need more veterans out there on track. Corey LaJoie probably was just going to wad up the field on Sunday anyway. Possibly flip. You know, Corey LaJoie plus a Roush-built car, you can guarantee he was going to get airborne Sunday. This is crazy. So every open car had an accident. You know, Corey Haim's locked in, so I'm not counting him. Jimmy Johnson has a provisional. I'm not counting him either. But Casey Mears had an accident. Chandler Smith had an accident. Corey LaJoie, a racing and ending accident. The Priest guys, not the Priest guys, the RFK guys dominated this race. But only a couple of the RFK guys even survived. SVG sneaking up there. I didn't see him all race until the end. Logano's hair is nice. Yeah. It's something. Are you kidding me? Casey Mears in this beat up car. Do they have a backup car to go to? Can they use one of the Roush cars? That is insane. I hope Corey LaJoie didn't spend his child's college fund on this ride like he did last year. So when I saw John Hunter Nemechek go down low, that made me really nervous. So maybe Suarez was at fault there with those pathetic pushes. If he had been pushing harder, they wouldn't have gotten stacked up like that. Harder previously, not when the incident happened. He was just laying back, completely killed the moment of the inside line, and then they get stacked up and that caution comes out. So you can look at it as a racing deal, or you can do what I'm going to do. You can blame Daniel Suarez. That 7 car is cursed. It's cursed. It doesn't matter who gets in the 7 car. You could bring back prime Richard Petty and they would not win in that 7 car. It's not going to happen. They need to renumber it. Make it the 00. Make it the 07. Let's get rid of it. Just get rid of the 7. It's cursed. And an RFK, not an RFK, a Penske winner. I did not want to see that. So Joey Logano. Joey Logano is our points leader currently. How about that? I know it's way too early to talk about points, but Joey Logano is our points leader. That was so stupid. I hate watching guys crash in the duel. I hate watching it, but absolutely crazy story with the transfer position. It looked like it was Corey LaJoie's race, locked up. Daniel Suarez killed the inside line, killed Brad's chance of winning the duel, and then took out half the field. So if that was Daniel Suarez's idea, you know, if that was his plan, is to kill half the field, he did a great job. I like that they didn't do a front stretch interview, which I don't know if they do that traditionally during the duels, but I much prefer the victory lane celebration. It's nostalgic. It's a much better environment for an interview with the team around, you know, everybody popping either champagne or Coke or Gatorade or whatever. Usually really fun. No Coke bath here, though. Looks like they're trying to keep the car clean for Sunday, which is very smart. Don't want to get the car sticky. Man, if Joey is going to be bald, he needs to use some Rogaine on his face. He needs to grow a thicker beard. I mean, it's fine. He looks fine. But with a bigger beard, you know. We might mistake him with SVG. Like, who's that guy? A lot of people are talking smack or proud for mirrors. We have a lot of mixed reactions here. Let me try to pull up a replay if we have one. Let's go to the NASCAR page. We should have a replay of the first big one. Yeah, we do. I'll get that pulled up for you guys. That's a look at our first big one. So absolute calamity. So the 24 didn't really have much damage during this part, but he washed us back up the track on the brakes, couldn't get it stopped, backs into the outside wall, breaks the toe link. So depending on how bad the damage is, you may just see them go to a backup car, because these 500 cars are highly trimmed out, and even that minimal contact, they may just call that car done. So it would be cool if they kind of changed the bait scheme a bit. You know, every once in a while, when you see a team go to a backup, the scheme changes somewhat. So maybe add some black to it. Yeah. A black car with some red flames, red and blue flames. Now, they'll probably just make an exact clone if they do a backup car. Chris Buescher may also go to a backup car. Just not great there. I was pretty ticked off when it first happened, but I think this accident here was more of a racing deal, you know, especially with how this package runs and how stupid this car is, having the flat, or not, the rounded rear bumper. We used to have flat bumpers, and even with the flat bumpers, guys would actually spin each other. Now we have rounded bumpers. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. So AA, I was asking about that earlier. I don't even know if that team has a backup car. Yeah. Well, a lot of drivers are short. A lot of drivers. It's only a few that are actually really tall. Logano, tall. I think SVG might be tall. Michael Waltrip was tall. Carson Hocevar, tall. So yeah, the average driver, usually a small person. Kind of like jockeys in horse racing. Cletus McFarland, tall. And he will be in tomorrow night's race and Saturday morning's race. Yeah, I'm not too mad about that one. Chandler Smith almost, you know, snuck into the transfer position, but Casey Mears, he timed his accident perfect. I can't believe it. So my question was, if they don't have a backup, can they use, and they probably can't, they probably won't, could they get some parts or help from the 99 if they have a backup? I don't know. Hard to say what that team's going to do. Maybe if they don't have a backup, maybe they have all the parts they need to put together a drivable car. New body panels, maybe some new steering components, depending on if his steering is bent at all. But the car he had was not great. The Casey Mears car, probably the weakest car in that last duel. but he made it work. That's, how plate racing is. You never know when something crazy is going to happen and just completely change the complexion of the race. Locked in. KC Mears. Oh, man. I think they used some sharpening on here. Some AI sharpening in it. Really pronounces his wrinkles. Anyway, this is that final accident. I don't want to get copyrighted. Let's minimize that. NASCAR, don't get angry. Friendly fire here. So, this is what I was pissed off about. Look how far off of the back of LaJoie Suarez was. If you see how far back he is, that's what he did the whole last lap and a half. He was just hanging back. He wasn't really delivering good pushes. If he did, it was just very momentary. And it's not what they needed. Look how hooked up the outside line is. So the outside line is moving very quickly. I believe they start to pull down here very shortly after. But finally, Suarez, fell back enough to get a push. He gets pushed about the exact same time that LaJoie gets to the back of Brad. And when you get three cars that make contact about the same time, a lot of times it'll send one of them around, and that's exactly what happened. I don't think that was a Corey LaJoie thing. A lot of people are going to blame Corey LaJoie. He took a really hard hit there. I think that was more... I mean, you could blame the spotters, but I think if Suarez had been a better pusher the lap before, the circumstances that led to that wreck would not have happened. That's my thought on it. Could just blame the package. You could just say the package sucks, and that's why this happened, but I was wanting Brad to get the duel win, and Daniel Suarez single-handedly killed the inside line, so I'm blaming him. It'll be interesting to see who ends up going to a backup car. So that was a wild duel. We've been talking about this for a while. A lot of times, when the first duel is crazy like this, a lot of wrecks, a lot of drama about the transfer position, you end up having a very quiet second duel because the guys that are in the second duel are watching this one. They say, that was crazy, that was stupid. Maybe let's not do that immediately. But the field isn't as considerate as they used to be, and it is this next-gen package, so we could probably see half the field get stacked up on any given lap, so who knows. Should I just talk Christian into doing a face mask with you over the weekend? Depends on what it's for. If it's just moisturizing, go for it, Christian. You gotta moisturize. I got so dry this winter. I usually don't moisturize, but I had to start because my skin was getting dry and irritated, and my lips were getting, cracked. I was like, okay, I gotta take care of myself. I can't just tough this out. I could, but I would look terrible. Yeah, a couple crazy incidents there. Another Penske win. I'm always so deflated when Logano wins. Man. They have to fix this package. Brad is not very happy. Brad's pretty outspoken about the changes he wants to see. It's the Gen 6, the last few years of the Gen 6, the plate package was great. Got a little wild there for a bit, but it was great. Very good. Very entertaining, huge runs. Maybe the cars were still a bit too packed up, but it was interesting. the Gen 6 short track package was really good. The Gen 6 road course package was really good. And then as soon as we went to Gen 7, super speedways, short tracks, road courses, they suck now for the most part. The short tracks are getting better, so maybe the teams are starting to work around that a bit more, but they're not what they used to be. Part of that is Bristol's fault with the reconfiguration several years ago to shave down or put progressive banking on it, and yeah, just ruin the track. Now they have to code it in PJ1, the sticky stuff, to create the bottom groove racing. But anyway, that's besides the point. They need to look into getting rid of this car or highly modifying the body panels to be less draggy. And, you probably just have to ditch this car entirely. They designed this car to be more like a sports car, more like a road course, capable car. And all it's done is made half the races unwatchable. I agree with the Martinsville statement. The Martinsville races last year weren't terrible for a next-gen short track race. So I think they're trending in the right direction, but it's still miles away from what we used to have with the Gen 4 car, Gen 5, or the Gen 6. The issues flipped. With the Gen 6 car, the 1.5 miles sucked. That's why we brought the Roval in. That's why we started looking at going back to places like North Wilkesboro, getting rid of Fontana or Auto Club. And now that we've gone to this Gen 7 car, we pivoted more towards short tracks. Now the short tracks and road courses suck. We went from 2 road courses to putting 6 on the schedule, and now they're some of the worst races of the year. Thanks to this excellent road course racing next-gen car. Stock cars are not meant to be agile. They're not meant to be easy to drive. You're supposed to, see them sliding around. You go back and watch an old road course race. I'm talking probably pre-2007 at least. These guys, they're fishtailing every lap. Just dirt tracking it around the turns. You go back even further to the 70s and 80s, and those guys are going crazy. I mean, Dale Sr., he cut one turn completely. He drove through the grass. Just absolute beasts on the track. And they over-engineered this car. And so it's kind of killed the super speedway package to where we have to push like idiots to make up any ground. I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing cars get junked in a qualifying race. It's one thing if it gets junked on the last lap or something of the 500. That's understandable. Everyone's going for the win. All bets are off. This is a qualifying race. And it wasn't even a bad push, and it wasn't a bad block that brought those cautions out. It's just a product of this Gen 7 car. So right now we're just waiting on Duel 2 to get underway. Let's see if they've updated the leaderboard. If they haven't, we'll just review it real quick. Okay. So we do have the new leaderboard up and ready to go. I think the next duel is scheduled to begin pre-race ceremonies. I think 7:45 was their scheduled time, 8:45 Eastern. So we might see that get underway soon. Not sure if they're going to do a whole new, probably not going to do a whole new anthem, but you might see them do another command. They're going to have to do more pace laps. So we might get this going within the next 10 minutes. If we're lucky. If we're lucky. Probably looking at more like 13 to 15 minutes. Chase Briscoe starting on pole. It'll be very interesting to see if he dives to the back. Kyle Busch ran up front for about 80% to the 90% of that last duel. And when things started to pick up, he fell back. Johnson stayed back almost the whole time. And then Corey Heim also fell back. So Jordan LaJoy is not in the 500. He is not in the 500. Hey, nice to have you, Richard. Nice to have you. Yes, from that first duel, only Casey Mears transferred. Let's pull up our results. I'll go to NASCAR.com. That is not NASCAR.com. I could work on my leaderboard while we're here in this holding pattern. Boop. Boop. Pull up a NASCAR's leaderboard. Dude, do you get double points today? Hey, if you guys didn't check in for that first NASCAR race on your NASCAR Mobile Rewards app, you know, your fan rewards, your NASCAR Mobile fan rewards, you know, whatever. You can do it on the website as well. You need to go make an account and you need to check in so you can get free tickets, free merchandise, you know, free. Who doesn't like free stuff? All you have to do is go to your app, every race, just click check in. For the cup races, the truck race, you get points for all of it. They have trivia 2 times a week. You get free points. A lot of opportunities to get points. Get yourself some free tickets. So I'm not able to pull up the first duel. So that is unfortunate. Yeah, not able to pull up the results of the first duel on the NASCAR website. Feel like I can find it elsewhere, but we're good. I could take this opportunity. I'm gonna look a little bit into. I go to into this README file. Okay. Default folder car/images in the same directory as the script. Copy. There. Wait, we already have a car images folder. Interesting. It's already done that. You replace lines 17 and 18 on this. All right, let's go. Let me just open this one and see what it looks like. That's not terrible. I don't like that one very much, though. I'm not a fan of that one. The final lap of Duel was crazy. Good to see you again, Doodlebug. Let's see. If Dale can win in his 20th try, so can Kyle. I think Kyle's 20th try was last year. This is Kyle's 21st attempt at the 500. Toyota diecast. I don't think I have any Toyota diecast at all. I have Ford, I have Chevy. I don't think I have any Toyota cars. Rollin' Roblox, good to see you. Good to see you. Rollin' 8 Roadblocks. Go to my projects folder. So I'm going to try to make some changes to the leaderboard before the next race starts. May not get these in. All right, what does our thing look like? Car. AJ, might have a broken thumb. Was he holding onto the steering wheel during the crash? Bowman the showman making a snowman. That's a good rhyme. Casey Mears making another Daytona 500 appearance before GTA 6. Yes, that's right. Yeah, dude, like, thank you about the hat. I wore this one specifically because it's a 500 hat. That's from last year's 500. What? This folder should not be empty. Oh, that is not what I was looking for. I did find car numbers, but they're not the right ones. Those are about 15 years old. Posted the link to something, I guess, in the Discord. Where did I put these numbers at? I had all the... Oh, there it is. There it is. Found it. right, just trying to get things set up. So you have car numbers or car images. All right, Duel 1 is, they are getting ready to go green. Probably still about 2 minutes up. I said that about 10 minutes ago. What's the Discord? I'll have to pull that up. We have another Grand Marshal for this event. COO of the Florida DOT. All right. Let's go. Invite the server. Copy link. So the link is in the chat if you want to join the Discord. You know, anyone's welcome to post over there. I would prefer if it's, you know, at least related to what we're, you know, talking about here, not random stuff. But there is a self-promotion channel. So if you upload, you know, videos or go live, you can post it there and get people's attention. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Another, it's the Amazon commercial again. They're gonna hit us with it again. This is insane. All right, let's see what this one looks like. So we updated our path to our image folder. Please load. Ah! It's so close to perfect. It's so close. This just takes revision after revision. Let's go to our snipping tool. All right, car should be rolling when we get back from commercial. Cars are rolling. All right, we're gonna try one more revision. If we don't get it going, we'll just stick with this leaderboard for now. Yeah, it definitely takes quite a while. That, you know, that's the pain of going live, you know, for both duels. You know, you gotta make do, but it gave me time to work on the leaderboard a little bit. I might be able to get some practice in tomorrow during truck qualifying. I talked about Denny. It would be crazy if Denny won the 500 again this year. Like, he's done it multiple times. He always seems to pop up at the end of the race here. But I don't, other than Christopher Bell, I don't believe in his teammate, his other teammate, Ty Gibbs, to be super helpful. Allgaier's already locked in on speed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him fall back at some point. Check out this one. It almost worked. It almost worked. Oh, I have no clue what's broken here. It almost worked, guys. I'm gonna show you real quick. That's the actual program. Now, guys, like, if you guys can see this, let's go bang. It almost worked. I almost have the car numbers loaded in. We were this close to getting it done. I'm gonna need at least another day to work on this. And I think I might have broken the status light. I'm not sure. I need to close a lot of this stuff. Simplify this. There we go. We have our X feedback. So once we get a replay, we'll pull that up for you guys. Should anything happen. Well, we're back ready to go. I almost had it working. Do you guys have any preference? Like, would you guys prefer the car numbers up there? Because I think that would make it a little easier possibly to pick out your driver. But also at the size of text that we're running with, it, like, the size of the images might make it harder to see exactly what number somebody has. So I don't know. We'll adjust it accordingly. It's so close. We almost had it. I missed my chance to go get a glass of water. So we're probably going to be strapped in here for at least 30 minutes. Looking at about 40 minutes potentially. Maybe not quite that far. But 30 to 40, 30 to 35 minutes until we get our pit stops or pit cycles. So very spaced out, calm opening. See how long it takes him to stack it up. So Briscoe so far holding the lead. Hamlin right on his bumper. So yeah, I guess Hamlin and Briscoe could work together well. So Denny has Bell to work with or Briscoe. He can technically work with Gibbs, but I'm not super confident on that. Double A says he picked Larson to win this one, so he's sure he will crash. It is a possibility. It is a possibility. Allgaier has not fallen back yet, so it'll be interesting to see if and when he does. He may just be feeling out the car here. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Already dropping back. What's with Allgaier? Mike Joy. You're losing it, man. What's going on? He's pulling down because he's locked in. So we're still 1-2 JGR. We have two Hendrick guys behind them on the inside and outside. Chase Elliott is separating Bell from his teammates at the moment. He's running side by side with another teammate, Ty Gibbs. So we have all four JGR Toyotas in what, the top 6? They're getting really close to the yellow line there. Not advancing their position, but I mean, you gotta be a little more careful. All right, 57 to go. Let me open that last revision and see if the status light is working. I just need to confirm that for next time I work on it. That's nice. Okay, that's nice. It is working. Not crazy about the lap count there. Man, it's so close to working. The image field is stationary. That's a problem. Let's go ahead and get a snipping tool image of this, just so I can be ready for Sunday. Yeah, that one's still pretty broken. All right, we already have some guys going 3 wide. BJ McLeod and Eric Jones making up a lot of ground on the outside. So it seems like we might already be fuel saving a bit. So that is a Toyota up there on the high side. Bell's not going to go up to help. They're not teammates. They are manufacturer teammates. No one jumped up to help, so they're able to kind of hold position, but not do anything more. BJ McLeod currently in the transfer spot. He did what he needed to do. He's going where they aren't. But in that high side, there's not really anywhere you can go if a wreck happens in front of you. Even though a lot of the wrecks start from the inside lane, I feel like if you're further back in the pack, the inside line is a safe place to be. Because you have so much track space to work with. You can go high, you can go low. If you're up against the wall, you have one way. And usually there's going to be a car to your inside. Briscoe and Hamlin still out front. Toyota's kind of trying to do what RFK did in the last duel, except maybe not crash. We'll see. We'll see. Anthony Alfredo in the 62 Beard Motorsports Chevrolet. Moving up through the pack. Getting a lot closer. It's a close battle right now between BJ and Anthony Alfredo, running 13th and 15th respectively. JJ Yaley in 20th currently. Still a long way to go, so you don't have to make your move yet. Double A says he picked Larson to win this one, so he's sure he'll crash. I'm not sure if I said that already, but that's definitely a possibility. You know, seems like sometimes you make a prediction, at least it happens to me, and you end up jinxing it the opposite way. And sometimes I'll do that intentionally. If I want something to happen or not happen, I'll say the opposite, and it makes it happen. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The universe is just, it's against me. This Amazon commercial again. I hope you guys like Amazon. You guys probably aren't getting the same commercials I am, but on the Fox Sports website, they keep playing this Amazon commercial. I'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You haven't gotten any Amazon commercials? Yeah, you guys are probably on some streaming service or a cable package. I'm watching directly from Fox, from Fox Sports website, so I'm sure they have their own commercials running. And depending on which service you have, you're probably getting different ads, so probably what's going on there. Mike Joy's losing his voice. He needs to clear his throat like I do. So not a lot of movement towards the front. Still Briscoe and Hamlin, nose to tail. And the two HMS guys are kind of pacing the field behind them, side by side. So they're not working together, but they kind of are. I would not be surprised to see Chase get shucked here, either to the outside or to the middle. I would not be shocked. He has some Toyotas behind him. They could definitely push him out of the groove. Speaking of out of the groove, out of the groove, I have my Eric E. Step hat. There we go. That was crazy. It took a while to pop in. It's an awesome hat. So I keep that one near my streaming setup. So if I'm ever going live and like, I want a hat real quick, I just throw on the out of the groove hat. Like repping Eric. He does a great job. All right, so there's a pretty big gap back from Allgaier. This is, you know, by design. Just try not to wreck out. He's running less than half throttle. This is crazy. There's no way he could make it to the end on this amount of fuel. But this is crazy that he's able to run 40% throttle around the track. If the throttle trace is accurate. That's a big if. A big if. Take a look through the field. Yeah, Allgaier back there in 22nd. Only car that's off our screen. Riley Herbst there running second to last. BJ McLeod has fallen back, so is JJ Yaley. Currently, Anthony Alfredo's in the transfer spot. You just have to stay close enough to be, you know, in a decent place to pit. You can't get behind before the pit stops. Who's my dark horse for Sunday? I think Johnson is snake bit at Daytona. So, like, I would like, you know, I'd like to see him win. I don't see it happening. Could have a case of beginner's luck. It would be a storybook way to start Connor Zilich's Cup full-time career. For him to win. Running in 12th right now. I don't know. Like, I feel like Allgaier's a good pick. The car obviously has some speed to it. He's a veteran. He really understands, you know, he's patient. So I think he's going to do what he can Sunday to make it to the last 20 miles, however long, you know. And then go for it. Probably the last like 40 miles to really have to to go. Seems like business starts to pick up in the 500 with about 30 to go, but it gets really intense with 20 to go. So you're looking at, what, 50 miles at that point? And Allgaier ran pretty well last year, so it would be the craziest thing. There's a ton of Chevys out here. It's just such a lottery race, you know. You can have the best car and get taken out, and there's not much to differentiate between your car and someone else's car. A lot of it comes down to which manufacturers and which teams can get hooked up together. Because, I mean, if you're coming off the final turn, you're a Toyota leading, and there's a Chevy behind you, you may not get the push you want. They may push you a little bit, but they're not going to push you like their life depends on it. Or they may even turn you, you know. You could see that. So it's, anything could happen. Ryan Preece could land in the upper deck of the grandstands, you know, who knows. Hocevar is interesting. That's an interesting pick. Could also be a dark horse, because I think he's due for a win. He had some really good runs last year. A lot of them were other people's mistakes or mechanical failures that he got involved in. He has a ton of damage on the nose. Am I crazy, or is his hood bent? Or the whole front bumper? Looks like Hocevar got into the back of someone a little too hard. Maybe it was just how the light was hitting it. That nose did not look right. All right, so Ty and Bell have gotten hooked up, so that I don't think Chase wants to see this. Oh, yeah, they were getting really squirrely there. We're also going 3 wide. It's getting a bit crazy. Elliott, he could, if he drug the brake a little bit, he could have jumped down in front of Larson, but he's opting not to. He's staying in that middle groove, losing all support. The outside groove is dying here. Ty Dillon needs to slot in here behind Chase. So the HMS guys are really controlling the pace of the pack. And these two Joe Gibbs guys are just, you know, probably also running about 80 to 50% throttle. It's the way the scheme looks. All the body panels, you know, the nose of the Camaro also changed quite a bit. So it may be the combo of the paint scheme and the new body panels that threw me off. So that looks really weird. It looked like, you know, he just ran into a pole or something, you know. It's like, what happened? All right, let's see if we have anything on NASCAR Twitter. Their description right now, or their bio on Twitter, is, "Can we get a hell yeah?" They're going all in on this marketing strategy. They're going all in. Check this picture out of Casey Mears. Good picture. Any of the Casey Mears fans be happy to see that. Yeah, not much going on. We really haven't had a big race. I don't follow Mike Joy on this account. Well, J-Ski too. Not gonna follow Jeff Burton. I'm sorry, Jeff. No, I'll follow Jeff. All right. Man, a $1,200 gaming PC just went on sale by mistake on Walmart.com for $12.34. Missed that one. I got an iPad earlier today for $19. I've been following this frugal living account or whatever on Twitter, and they post price errors. I think that's the name of the account. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. There's a few of those accounts. Now that I've seen one and followed one, I get recommendations from a lot of similar copycat accounts. Throw this on the screen real quick. How the gas pedal looked at Casey Mears as he drove into that wreck. For all our Sabrina Carpenter fans out there, I'm sure that's a huge portion of our viewer base. A bunch of Sabrina Carpenter fans. Coming up on halfway. Let's see if we can make it to halfway before they go to commercial again. You're telling me we didn't get a side-by-side there? What are we doing? Maybe you guys did, but I did not get a side-by-side. I don't think I've had one this whole broadcast, even the last race. So they may not do side-by-sides on the website. Right now, Anthony Alfredo easily in the transfer position, running in 11th. Oh my goodness. Showing a replay of that LaJoy wreck. That's crazy. That was such a hard hit. You've never heard a Sabrina Carpenter song? Yeah, she's like in that weird tier where it's like she has name recognition now, especially with younger people, but she's not well known enough to be known by like a lot of old people. And a lot of old people know who Taylor Swift is. They know who Beyonce is. You know, there's levels to the music industry, and Sabrina's still at that, you know, below level. I'm not sure she'll ever make that jump. Not everyone gets to. It's a very exclusive group. You know, there's a difference between selling out arenas and selling out football stadiums. There's levels. Sabrina Carpenter can sell out an arena. Taylor Swift can sell out a football field. Levels. That's kind of the progression of big name music acts. They get so big, they fill up a football stadium. Then as they get older, unless you're like in the, you know, top of the music industry, kind of like maybe the Rolling Stones, potentially Metallica could be thought of that way, because they still have a ton of people turn out for concerts. But usually as a band gets older or a performer gets older, you know, their attendance drops because their fan base gets older, gets jobs, responsibilities, different interests, you know. Anyway, Enough of the sidebar. JGR guys doing a good job of controlling this race. They've all the JGR cars now on the inside lane. They've gotten stacked up really well, nose to tail. Are we about to go to commercial after 4 laps? So yeah, a lot of Toyotas on the inside currently. Just keep an eye on that. If I had to guess, they'll probably try to be the first ones to pit. A lot of Toyotas on the inside, but Riley Herbst up there trying to make a third lane on the outside. What? I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Maybe try to find a gap and get to that inside lane somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. Yaley's about to make up a bunch of spots. Jumping up into that third lane. So the battle for the transfer position has heated up. The leaderboard on the broadcast took a long time to update there. Only one position separates Alfredo and Yaley currently. Now they're side by side. Yaley has now taken the transfer spot. So Chase pulled down from the middle groove. So now he's blocking Denny Hamlin. So we have JGR, Hendrick, JGR, Hendrick, JGR. So we have a Big Mac of 2 teams going on right now. JGR is the bread. Hendrick is the meat. We have food analogies here. That's what we do. So we're over halfway. We should be coming up on green flag pit stops potentially during the next segment of this broadcast, but they may also squeeze in one more commercial because we made it about 5 to 6 laps before we went to commercial again, which is pretty insane. You watch an NBA game or an NFL game and they'll, you know, go 15 minutes without a commercial break. And here in NASCAR, we can't make it more than 5 minutes without a commercial break. Just wild. Ty Dillon scored as the leader right now. Ty Dillon said, hey, watch this. So remember, 10 points are at stake. Whoever wins this starts the season out with 10 points. So currently, Joey Logano is our points leader. He has a 10-point advantage on everyone currently. So whoever wins this one will tie Joey Logano. They'll both have 10 points heading into Sunday's race. And that's a huge deal. A huge deal. I think that was smart of NASCAR to do that. Because it makes these duels a little more interesting. Not just about the transfer position. All right, we're about to get back to broadcast. This might be worst case scenario. If we'll get maybe 4 to 5 minutes of broadcast and then possibly another commercial break. Or if they run a little longer, they may go to commercial right in the middle of green flag pit stops. So just brace for impact. $25 laps to go. So if Joey Logano wins the championship, does that kill the chase too? Well, if there wasn't a points reset, maybe. But the 10 points, I mean, it matters to make it into the chase. But I think, you know, Joey is, you know, pretty safe. I mean, he's a pretty safe lock for the chase. Even his worst season, he had an average finish of 14th, which would put him in the chase. So, well, that was his worst championship winning season, I should say. He's probably had worse seasons overall, but anyway. Yeah, you know, at the end of the season, a lot of times you'll see guys miss or make the playoffs by 1 point or a tie. So every point counts. Every single point counts. Briscoe's kind of blocking both lines here. Stenhouse being pretty aggressive, working with Ty Dillon here. I think that's really smart. You have several Chevys up in the high side. 5 Chevys in a row. And it's a lot of smaller teams. That's really smart. Get in where you fit in. Briscoe still absolutely pacing the field. Stenhouse all over the back of Ty Dillon. McDowell was kind of hanging around, being patient. You know, he knows his way around Daytona. Briscoe's doing kind of what I used to do in NASCAR Heat 4 and 5. Is just kind of run between both lines, kind of try to pretend you're peak Dale Earnhardt Jr., controlling both lines. Ty Dillon will win before GTA 6. It is a possibility. It is a possibility. He has a full season to do it, pretty much. I think the NASCAR season might end before GTA comes out. I think what, scheduled for maybe next November? October, November, somewhere in there. So Ty Dillon's also clear. Ty could have gone low there. He's staying up on the high side with Stenhouse. So maybe a good call, but if a caution comes out when these Toyotas dip down onto pit road, it could, you know, really put these guys in the high side in a bad situation. Zillage minding his own business, currently top 10. It's a very nice looking Red Bull car. Very nice. Love seeing that. The 88, baby. Dale Jr.'s back. He got rid of Amp Energy. He's a Red Bull man now. Whew. Stenhouse is making me a bit nervous. He's being awful aggressive. He may be trying to push them both clear of Briscoe so they can both pull down. McDowell needs to, yes, a huge push for McDowell. They almost stacked it up there. Dude, they can go. They're clear. They're clear. Clear down. Clear down. Ty Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. have moved down to the bottom line. That was textbook. Very good job. I like seeing these smaller teams here making it happen. Briscoe is all over the track right now. That is so sketchy. These rounded off bumpers misaligned. They almost stacked up the outside line there. That was very close. McDowell to the lead now. Look at these Chevys. Look at these small team Chevys. If the dude wipes Anthony Alfredo up front, he better not ruin this. McDowell is a very interesting looking car there. Tremendously. Clint Boyer just invented a new word. So now Zillage running in the top 5. This is crazy. Zillage, you know, if Trackhouse can give him good cars, he might be the next Jeff Gordon. He might be. It remains to be seen how he's going to adapt to this next gen car. Maybe. Might have been trying to pull out. That's definitely a possibility. But I just don't see, unless Denny would let him back in, or one of his other teammates. Maybe. I don't know. He's led pretty much the entire duel, so he may not be used to his car in traffic. So definitely having to get used to that. Watch Riley Herbst stack the field up here. About to take out both the Hendrick guys and Joe Gibbs. All right, they're saying Toyotas are coming down. I like the call to pit early. I like it a lot. Chase Elliott being very aggressive on pit entry. He did get it woed down, though, it looks like. A penalty here could be race ending. Only a few cars pit. That wasn't, you know, the lion's share. Now, Herbst is still out there. That's one of the Toyotas. Oh my goodness, Chase Briscoe. Incredibly slow stop. Leading did not pay off there. So, a problem with the field being so packed up is they're not able to swap the lead like they used to in the tandem era. They would have one guy push for a while, his car would get hot, then they would swap. And that would also divide up the fuel savings. They can't do that in this next gen car. There's not enough room to let somebody back in. So the leader, you know, it's great to have the track position, but when it comes time to pit, you're going to get the short end of the stick. All right, Zillage coming down by himself. He is done. He's so done. Why, Connor? That's just a rookie deal. Maybe they wanted him to pit safely. Oh my goodness, Zillage is going to get run over. He has no drafting partners. That might kill Zillage's chances without a caution here. All right. Rest of the field coming down. See if anybody speeds. Ty Gibbs, last one coming on the pit road. He's making up ground on pit road. Okay. Yeah, Barry had to get down. It looked like Ty Gibbs is speeding there for a bit. All right. So watch for some guys in this lead pack to block. Kevin Harvick just said that. So many times I make a call out right before they do on television. There is no bottom half. This is the bottom half. The top half already ran their race. I could possibly add in a script that would go ahead and auto scroll it every 60 seconds. Just a quick scroll to the bottom and then back to the top. That would be interesting. These are the qualifying races. This is how they set the field. Hocevar almost died. He almost died. Dead. Cindric's in the sucker hole. He's going to get some help from Todd Gilliland, but that is going to split the pack up. Reddick got really loose. Chase almost into the wall. We are 3 wide right now. Oh my goodness. Tyler Reddick just clipped Carson Hocevar there. Hocevar to the lead. So Briscoe pulling back out onto the track now. BJ McLeod 10 seconds off the pace. I don't think he's going to transfer in. Looks out like unless Alfredo wrecks, Alfredo will be the transfer driver. It's just a gaggle right now. This is wild. We're really going to go to commercial with 10 laps left. Now coming to 9. I mean, are you kidding me? I hope you guys are getting side-by-side because it's not doing side-by-side coverage for me. It's just full screen ads. Really irritating. I just have to watch our leaderboard. Yeah, they looked really squirrely. We had a lot of close calls there. And those are the signs you start to look for when things are about to go south. So you may be exactly right, Double A. Sometimes, you know, when someone almost crashes, it makes the field kind of collect themselves. And if they can make it a couple more laps, they settle down. But this is coming to the end. But there's not a fight for the transfer position. So, I mean, these guys are still going for the 10 points. But there's no reason to make a stupid decision here. All full screens? That sucks. What are they doing here? Less than 10 laps to go. I was saying earlier, you can watch an NBA game. You can watch an MLB game. NFL, you know, any sport. The big 3. Baseball, basketball, football. You might have constant coverage for 15 to 20 minutes before you get a commercial break. And here, we're getting one every 5 minutes. 5 to 6. I mean, it is ridiculous. I don't know if it's ever been quite this bad. No, normally they let the broadcast breathe a bit. You might have a 30-lap run, at least. And here we are, waiting for coverage to resume. Ridiculous. right when action was picking up. Look at that. King is dead. Member for 4 months at the Dale Senior tier. That's the highest echelon. So one of the perks, I don't think I can even like take this off either. One of the perks for joining Dale Senior tier is you are allowed gameplay with me. And I don't guess that has to be streamed, but I mean, if any of you guys are Dale Senior tier and you really want to play a game, let me know. I know Warren, I think his is about to end. He was Dale Senior tier for the last month. But I know him personally, so and we play together anyway. When we do play. We're kind of in a drought right now with games. A lot of the games just suck. Battlefield 6 has been a massive disappointment. It's not a bad game. It's just not a good Battlefield game. And like, I kind of like the Outlast Trials thing, but honestly, it was a little lame. Like, it wasn't as scary as, or like chaotic as I would have liked. Just kind of like walk around and find things, plug things in, you know? Oh, so Briscoe, you know, he's going to serve a penalty here. So that's why he was so far off the pace. I thought he did that intentionally. As maybe BJ also? I don't know why BJ's so far off the pace. JJ Ailey showing 2 laps down. Yeah, I mean, I Far Cry 5, I would have to download it, and I would have to play on PC. It's not crossplay, or I would have to play on PlayStation. It's not crossplay. But I mean, if you want to play Far Cry 5 and Brandon wants to play, you can only, unless you do arcade mode, you can only do co-op 2-player. So I would rather just watch you guys play. I've played Far Cry so many times. I love it. But I would hate every second of holding a PlayStation controller. Feels great for racing games, but that's all I can do anymore. I'm in my Unk status era. All right. Very single file at the front. Zillage, Barry, and Zane Smith on that inside line. Really in a bad way. We have 5 Chevys nose to tail. They definitely have control of this at the moment. Who's going to be the first guy to pull out? Who's going to be the first guy to jump up? Table it for now. Yeah, I mean, Deaver's been trying to get me on to play for the last couple weeks, and he wants to play PUBG, and even on PC, it's just not a great game. Like, it's all right, but there are guys that have been playing PUBG now for 15 years, and when you run up against those guys, it's not any fun. They just kill you from a mile away. You can't even see them. And it's just like constant running from the storm. If you're like land somewhere crazy, the maps are too big for how fast the zone moves. I wouldn't mind going back to Warzone. I miss Call of Duty. We don't really have a good multiplayer Call of Duty to play. Like Black Ops 7, I've heard, isn't terrible. And Brandon doesn't have Modern Warfare 2, so we can't play that. So I would go back to Modern Warfare 2 or potentially Warzone. Just Battlefield, I've just lost interest in it. They baited us in, making us think it was going to be like Battlefield 4, and then it wasn't. Well, we gotta try to find it on sale or something for Brandon because, you know, apparently he can't play it for some reason. I think most likely what it was is he had a physical copy and probably sold it. All right, Chase Elliott taking the Duel 2. I was kind of off topic there on the last lap, my bad. But Chase Elliott and Joey Logano are leading our leading our points for the year. They both have 10 points, so good cushion there. Carson Hocevar in second, Kyle Larson third, fourth, Michael McDowell fifth, Christopher Bell sixth, Josh Berry seventh, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Great run for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 8th, Todd Gilliland 9th, Ty Gibbs 10th, Denny Hamlin 11th, Eric Jones 12th, Tyler Reddick 13th, Riley Herbst 14th, Zane Smith 15th, Connor Zillage 16th, Ty Dillon 17th, Austin Cindric 18th, Anthony Alfredo, who is our transfer driver, I believe, and right behind him, but like way off the pace. I mean, one position away, but 20 seconds back, BJ McLeod just missing out. Briscoe, after serving his penalty, 29 seconds back. Probably would have fell back eventually anyway because he was locked in. Allgaier also locked in. 29 seconds off the pace. And JJ Ailey bringing up the rear 22nd. So it was fun. We had some fun duels. I'm not sure what this means for the 500. You really can't predict too much based off of practice, qualifying, and even the duels from the race. More than likely we're going to have a bunch of fuel saving, you know, just trying to make it to the end of each stage. At the end of each stage you might see some crashes, and then at the end of the race we're probably going to stack it up and about 30 cars are going to be damaged. So we'll see what happens. We will be live tomorrow for the truck race. So tomorrow night, truck race. We will be live for the ARCA race Saturday morning. Then we'll be live for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, the Xfinity Series race on Saturday. And then we'll go live also for the 500 on Sunday. So we have a lot coming up. And play Warzone. Yeah, Blackout, yeah. Yeah, that worries me because I hope they don't get rid of Verdansk, because Verdansk is like my favorite BR map of all time. It's so good. Just the different POIs. There are some areas I don't like. They get really hectic, but it's just such a well-designed map. He died. I'll pull open the clip. Daniel Suarez stacked up the inside line and then ended up wrecking half the field. That's who I'm choosing to blame. All right, so right here, Daniel Suarez getting this bottom line stacked up. When he gets to the back bumper of LaJoy, the guy behind him, whoever this is, also gets into him. So, yeah. Anyway. Oh, no, that was the first wreck. My bad. My bad. This is the wreck that Byron was involved in. That was the second wreck. So yeah, this one, just a bad push with Bubba Wallace there. Not really his fault. He didn't have any damage. Slid back up the track, backed it into the fence, and broke a right rear toe link. Yeah, front stretch interview. I wonder if Joey is still in victory lane or if they just want to wrap up the broadcast. That's probably what it is. They're probably rushing to wrap up the broadcast. Excellent coverage by Fox. Excellent coverage. I loved the full screen ads. I love it. I love just every single inch, every single millimeter of my screen being an advertisement, even though we're advertised to constantly during the race because every car is a rolling billboard. But yes, give us full screen ads, Fox. I love it. You guys do a great job. Best coverage ever. Prime can't even compare. A little angry about that. No side by side. Yeah, I much prefer the victory lane interview. Sorry, my brain was buffering. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us, guys. I may potentially go live later, but if I don't, hope to see you guys sometime tomorrow for probably maybe a NASCAR stream, but maybe Doom. We may run a truck race. Maybe run a truck race at Daytona. So stay tuned. We'll see whenever we go live again, but we will be